Welcome to the show. I'm David Jadakian, and with me tonight is my dear friend, Andrea LaFazia. Hello, Andrea.
Hi.
Thank you for being with me today. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Thank you for having me. No problem.
Love to have you here. It's great to see you. It's always great to talk to you. It's always a lot of fun. I know there are lots of folks that want to join in, and there we go, right there. Mark Garofalo joined in. We knew.
Well, we knew that was going to happen.
We knew.
Don't heckle me, chef.
He's like one of those old Muppets in the balcony for us.
I know. He's my special little curmudgeon.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's it. Well, hopefully we'll have Mark on the show soon. That'd be great to have him on. Mark actually offered. He wants to. He does some writing occasionally. He wants to interview me. So I said, sure, I'll do that.
That's such a good idea. He's the perfect man for the job. Mark, I vote for you.
Thank you. Well, but tonight is about you, and that beautiful spot behind you there. That you are the goddess of. What's your official goddess title? Goddess of events in.
Goddess of the good times.
The good times. That's it. I knew
yes, that's my official title at Troop.
Yes, and we all love Troop. Troop has been a great phenomenon now there on Valley Street in Olneyville. Wonderful to have you there. But let's talk about you a little bit. Let's. I like to find out a little. Let people know a little more about where'd you grow up, your family. How'd you get into this crazy business?
Oh. Yeah. Am I answering all of those we're going rapid fire on this?
However you want to answer.
I grew up in Foster, Gloucester, Rhode Island. I went to Pontiac High School. Susie and I were not classmates, but we went to the same school and we took the same bus together.
It's funny, I think two Pontiac ladies right in a row.
It's amazing that Susan and I have never really intersected anywhere, but our paths have led to many of the same places, and it's really cool. And I was very excited when our paths did finally, for just a little while, intersect. I grew up in Foster, Gloucester, and I went to high school there. And then I moved around in my 20s. My first stop was New York, and moved to New York because I wanted to become a famous musician. And so I packed my guitar and I lived in New York for about 10 years, playing open mic nights and, waitressing. And then I sort of hopped around a little bit. I went from place to place for a bit. I was in Arizona for a little while. I was in Florida for an amount of time. I think I managed California for about a month. But I always went back to New York. I was back and forth from New York to other places constantly. And then on my 30th birthday, I moved back to Rhode Island.
Oh, right on your birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very clean timeline. I left when I was 20. I came home when I was 30.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, I think how old was I? I was 32 when I came back. I guess it's something to do.
I missed my family. I came back because I felt like I'd had 10 years of just having coffee, and these hurried visits with my sisters and my brother and my dad. And it wore me down. And when I came home, I was ready and excited to be back. I was gone for just the right amount of time, and I came home just in time.
Nice.
And here I am.
And so, are all your family around here now still?
Yeah. Everyone's here.
That's nice. Very nice. Oh. And you have a little family of your own.
I do.
It's like I have to pull it out of you. It's like the other day with Derek. It's like, you have?
Well, okay, yeah, sorry. I have a little boy. His name is Angelo. He's the finest human on the planet.
I'm going to say he's just a little younger, like a month or two younger than my oldest. I wouldn't say little boy.
He's amazing. He's just the greatest human. And, when they get to this age, 11, 12, they really just become so much their own people. But the problem is I see so much of me, these reflections of myself in him. And sometimes it's beautiful. I'll recognize it and I'll say, well, he has that for me. That's awesome. And sometimes it's just cringeworthy. It's so spot on, awful me that I often joke that I'm going to send him a condolence card for all of my DNA because, man.
Yeah. My oldest has some of my anxiety. She also has my ordering and skill. So you see all my books and CDs around me, all in alphabetical order. She does that as well, which is wonderful. And I love that.
Yeah, that's nice.
A little nutty, but Hey.
Until she's twitching in front of the bookcase.
Well, I mean, how else would you find a book if you didn't know how it's alphabetized? Right? I mean, I don't go do decimal system or something like that. I'm not nutty.
I prefer, I'm very particular about how my books look on the shelf, but it's height. I organize by height.
Oh, no, yeah, I can't do the height thing.
So it graduates because it drives me crazy when it's all up and down.
Yeah.
I can't with that.
I'm up and down, yeah. All right.
You're all up and down.
All of it down. That's me. What are you going to do?
I don't even know.
Yeah. All right, so now you're back in Rhode Island at the age of 30. And what do you do?
The ripe age of 30. So it was strange when I came home. So when I moved to New York, most of how I made my money was teaching music in like preschools and daycares. And then I started doing birthday parties.
Oh.
And I would, sometimes dress up as a clown or like as a princess.
This I did not know.
And then
You've never told me this before.
And it's kind of embarrassing.
No. It's business. It's a job. It's work.
Strangely enough, the clown stint was the most popular, and I was just getting all these gigs dressing up as a clown and playing music at these like preschool birthday parties and making balloon animals. It's the most humiliating job in the world. I loved it, but it's silly. It's just silly shit.
What you make of it, right? I mean, if you loved it and you enjoyed it, then that's what matters.
Well, the money was great, and I would go there and play guitar dressed as a clown. But the thing is, if you become a clown in your life, you have to give yourself a clown name.
Yeah, sure.
And like something of a clown character,
I can see that.
Because I'm a professional, David.
Of course, yeah. And no, you don't do this half-assed. Come on.
So I was Starry the Clown.
You were Starry?
Starry the Clown.
Very nice. It's a classy clown name.
Thank you.
Very nice.
And one of my funnest stories from those days is I was always late for everything. And I was driving to this little girl's, right, not like now at all.
Right.
And I got to get to this like little girl's 9th birthday party, and I am hauling. And I get pulled over, and I'm dressed as this sparkly kind. I have like glitter all over my face. I'm just the sweetest little thing ever. And I got the ticket. He made me sit, and I was like, it's a 9th birthday party. I'm the thing. I'm her clown. And he was like, And I thought that day, no matter how I dressed, or I could wear anything, and they're just going to know. Give her the ticket. It doesn't matter.
It's the opposite of like, trying to smooth talk a cop. It's just
the
exact opposite. Oh, just give me the ticket. I'm a clown.
Fine. I'll take it. So when I moved back home to Rhode Island, I did not want to teach music anymore. And somebody asked me when I first got home if I would clean their office. Like their cleaning lady was on vacation, and so I was like, sure, yeah. And I cleaned the office, and then I get hired by all these people to clean houses, and I had been home for just like a week or two. And I was working, but I was working for this landscape mason and this construction company, and everything was sort of gig related. And so this woman hires me to clean her house, and another person hires me to clean their house. And I ended up starting a cleaning business called Clean House and Other Lovely Things. And it was an environmentally friendly cleaning business.
This I knew. I did not, but this I knew.
Yeah. And, you know, within a year, I had employees and I wasn't cleaning houses and I was just sending people out. But one of the things that happened was I was just obsessed with trying to get farm food. And it wasn't as easy then. It's not easy now, but it was less easy then.
Right.
Now it's like crazy compared to then.
Oh, yeah. No, now, yeah. Right.
Yeah, and I had just had a baby, and so I was obsessed with the food system and what am I feeding this child? And and I was raised on Alice Waters. I was already she was my hero from the time I was 12. And I started getting really just passionate and focused. And I started a co-op out of my house. And Market to Mobile was just launching at the time. And I remember how excited I was. You know, and I was this weirdo person that would be like, do you guys understand? They're working with more than one farm. Even if it was just 2 farms, you could order from one place. And at that time, it was such a small, you know, organization.
That was about 2008, right?
Yeah. So I had these clients, and, you know, it was an earth-friendly cleaning business, so very like-minded people. And I was like a missionary for the cause. So nobody that was around me wasn't hearing my whole spiel about how farm food needs to be more accessible and what are we feeding our families and the food system and don't eat that chicken. You know, it was insane. And so I was able to get every single client that I had, which like was a lot of clients. I think at our peak we had like 50 clients became part of this co-op because there were minimums, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I got everyone involved so that we could make an order that would reach a minimum. And my happiest day of the week, and I had this tiny baby just crawling around, was when all the food would come to my house and I would be able to sort it out for everyone and make their bags for them. And then everybody would come and get their food. And that started everything. That was the beginning of everything. And I was racking my brain because there weren't models in place on how to become, you know, a professional in local food. That wasn't a thing that was happening. Is there a job called an advocate for the local food system? There was nothing. I couldn't figure out what to do. And the only thing I could think of was I would go to culinary school. And I had no interest in becoming a chef or working in a restaurant. But I thought, I'm 30. And I can't start some kind of job at an internship level. So I need to manipulate my way into a field that doesn't totally exist yet with no expertise at all. I have no business doing what I'm doing except that I'm, you know, overly excited.
Oh, same with me. I mean, you know, I read a lot.
Yeah.
Knew what I wanted to do and took my camera and wrote. I mean, there wasn't, like you said.
I think oftentimes that's how the most, you know, beautiful things happen.
Yeah.
So I enrolled in culinary school.
Yep.
And then I bought a restaurant.
Yes, you did.
Locals where we met.
That's where our paths first crossed. With the ever beloved lunatic Miss Anne Marie.
Oh, Anne Marie.
So, she
was my first farmer.
Right. You had to buy her meat. I mean, you know, it was never easy, but always good.
Exactly. But so much worth the effort, and the stories I have just from working with her for so long are totally worth everything that comes along with it.
I've been with her for 12 years now. Jeez, wow. Almost 12 years, yeah.
But Blackbird and Buffoni Farms were the first farms I ever worked with, and I have to say, you know, I was running this tiny restaurant. We seated 45 people, in Centerdale, Rhode Island, which is not the hippest place
Well, that
I've
was
ever
it. You
opened a
picked an
restaurant.
interesting spot. I mean, I loved it. I really did. I enjoyed it. I mean, I would take the girls there. I mean, it was great, environment for people to come and hang out. The food was delicious. I mean, I remember it. And, but yeah, not the easiest sell at that location.
Some beautiful things happened in that room, though.
Oh, yeah,
I will say.
absolutely. Yeah.
We, I feel like on some level, we became educators in that restaurant.
Oh, absolutely.
And we were in a community of people that, weren't organically excited about farm to table eating. And when we opened the locals, it was literally farm to table. We didn't serve something unless it was growing in Rhode Island at the time. In the winter, if you wanted a tomato on your burger, you were shit out of luck. That wasn't going to happen there.
Yep.
And it really was a local place. More than it was a farm to table place, it was a neighborhood place. And we hosted live music with local musicians. Our bar only consisted of local, like I didn't have two vodkas, or two, like I had one thing, and that's how we mixed drinks, and that was it. And
you had a little soda.
People said to me, huh?
You had a little soda company behind you.
Yeah, Yacht Club Soda was the only soda we served there.
Yep.
It was amazing. And when we did that, and clearly I am not, I can't be giving business advice how to open and sustain a restaurant, but what I can say is that people said to me, everybody said to me, you can't do it this way. You can't just have one bourbon. You can't just have this one soda maker, and I said, yeah, I can, and I will. And the thing that did happen, the thing that we got right, among bunches of things we got right, and another whole slew of things that we got very not right, was that everything that happened at the locals was a story. If you had a drink, there was a story that came with that drink because we were working with local brewers and local makers, and the staff was excited. No one there was full of shit. I had the same staff when I opened that place as when I closed 4 years later. And for all of the people that were just like, you can't do this, you can't do this, what we were able to do is build a lot of excitement about what we're making in this state. And we were so excited about it that the authenticity came through always.
Yeah.
And if people came and they were like, I want Miller Lite, and I was like, well, you're going to get Revival, it became a conversation. Nothing was just an order, because we were teaching people about what was happening, and it was exciting. So it was almost impossible. If you didn't get excited by what we were doing, you just died inside somewhere.
I mean, well, truthfully, you were ahead of your time there. I mean, because just, 10 years later, not far from that location is Howie's doing a very similar local product and doing very well.
Yeah.
And in the other direction, Cook and Dagger, and doing very well. So, sometimes that's the price of being a visionary, of being a pioneer.
I wouldn't go that far, but I also had, I was an excited cook who was passionate about local food, but, I don't think it would come to a surprise to anyone that my strong suit wasn't business. And I often say if I knew by the time I closed the locals, if I knew all those things when I opened the locals, we would have nailed it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reality sometimes. I mean, we all, you got to live and learn. If you don't, at least you learn. I mean,
I have no regrets about that room. It's opening, it's closing. I'm almost positive we sucked every ounce of joy out of the walls of that room. There probably wasn't any left anyway.
That's wonderful. That is. So then
I've been very fortunate to be able to, I opened the locals with, I wasn't qualified to be doing what I was doing. And I spent most of my career not being qualified, but I got into the habit of just writing job descriptions for myself and giving them to people and just feverishly researching on the job what I needed to be doing to become the position that I put myself in. And I've worked with so many just insanely talented people the people I don't belong in the same room in, but it keeps happening.
Well, no, you can't.
And I've learned so much from everyone. It's been really amazing.
You shouldn't. You certainly belong in the room.
Well, I mean, we all belong in the room, but
right? Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
All right. So now you are a few different stops along the way, and now you're a Troop. How long have you been a Troop now?
I'm a Troop. I've been at Troop for a little over 2 years. When the Troop opportunity came up, I didn't want it. I was terrified of moving to. I feel I spent a lot of time sort of on the peripheral of the food scene in Rhode Island, and I really wasn't very interested in getting myself like right smack dab in the middle of the movers and the shakers. And Sean Larkin and Jason Timothy and Lee Vingola and were opening a restaurant. And I initially was like, I can't do that. It sounds like professional suicide to me. I would put myself right in the spotlight, and if we don't do well, we all don't do well as a big group of people that work in this industry. It was terrifying to me. But I loved JT's food, blew my mind every time I ate it. The whole way we got connected was I was always working, cooking on weekends, and I had this one night off, where a Saturday night off where I could go out and do whatever I wanted, and that's when Laughing Gorilla was doing the pop-up at Kitchen. And I grabbed a friend of mine, and I went to the pop-up at Kitchen, and they had 7 things on the menu. And I sat there for 3.5 hours, and I ate one by one everything on the menu. And I sent an email the next day to Laughing Gorilla saying, like, hey, my name is Andrea. I'm a chef. I have a job that I love. I'm not interested in leaving, but I know you guys are doing all these pop-ups. I love your food. I'd love to help sometime if you need an extra set of hands. The next day I get a message from Sean Larkin telling me about the restaurant and would I like to come in and talk about a position as the brunch sort of lead and lunch and brunch lead. And at that time I sort of had built a reputation for brunch service.
All right.
So I was like, I don't want to do too intimidated. I was terrified of it. It was too scary. And there were too many talented people. What was I going to do, But I come to the interview, and it was great because one of the other owners, Christopher Simonelli, was there of this 5-owner group. And as soon as I walk in, he was just like, you're Andrea from the locals. And Nice. It was just like, I was immediately so comfortable. Clearly, I took the job. And I have never seen so many talented people on so many levels in one room ever in my life. The energy in that room is ridiculous, and you feel happy every time you walk in, even if you work there. And there's just so many creative and brilliant humans doing creative and brilliant things all the time in that room. And the ownership, having 5 owners of a restaurant could be a real nightmare. It sounds terrible, always. And this ownership, and they're all so different. They bring completely different things to the table, but they learned very quickly that there needed to be an openness to communication and to approach and to technique and a deep respect and trust for the people around you. And they have been able to all work together. I mean, I'm sure there are things that happen behind the scenes that I don't know about. Maybe there are like fist fights, but they come to the table as one, and they come to the table very humbly. And so they've hired the people they have on the staff for a reason, and you know that when you get there. And so they trust people to do their job and to be creative and be smart. And everything we do there is this collaboration of energy and excitement. And so I'm so happy that I took that position like 2+ years ago. And I wasn't actually in the kitchen for very long. And they asked one day if someone was willing to take on the catering, because JC now was running the kitchen at Troop. And I just said, I've never done that before. I'm totally willing to do it. And so they needed someone to run the catering, which soon turned into an event management position, which turned into me feeling like I fell into such a beautiful place in hospitality for me and my nature and what I bring to the table. And I can't believe it took so long for me to go there.
Well, all good things.
A beautiful progressive journey.
Yeah, no, it's a wonderful story, and it's a great spot. I mean, as a diner, I just it's fun, it's enjoyable. Yeah, everyone there is, like you said, warm and friendly. I've been in there with my daughter, and it's just it brings a smile to my face to thinking about it. It's a great spot.
I know.
Seeing it in your background there is fun, but you gotta go in the place and check it out. And I've been fortunate enough. I have an office next door, so I'm in there. I've been there for dinner, lunch, all times of the day, brunch time, and it's always just a great big party.
Thank you.
The food's great. I mean, that's the bottom line as well. Yeah, so wonderful. And then I don't want to. I do want to talk about the one other thing that you do cook-wise for us, for Eat Drink Rhode Island, for many of us, not just me, of course. But I would be remiss if I didn't get to talk about our beloved Women's Feast that sadly got postponed this year because of this terrible virus.
It's been such a painful week because I keep getting pictures of our time together. Oh.
I know. And Larry posted and Sean posted, and it is a little hard to see the pictures, but I try to just keep the joy in it because it was such an amazing evening. For those of you who don't know, I feel funny even saying it because I'm the middle-aged white guy, but I produced this event, which is a women's feast, which is all women chefs, women bartenders, women distillers came last year. And it's not really about.
And the designer, that necklace.
Yes, Nicole came. Yes, actually, I still have Maria's here because I keep forgetting to give it to her. I don't know
you're the worst.
Yes, I have it saved for her.
Terrible.
Because Maria, we were having tequila and everything at the end last year, and we just never remembered to hand it to her. And
I worship that woman. I worship her.
Yeah, she's the greatest. She's wonderful. I love her. But yeah, and the flowers from Robin Hollow, and of course, Susan from the other night helped me with all the design of the tables and everything. It's a phenomenal group of women, and I was thrilled to death to have you join in last year, and cook alongside everyone. So yeah, it will be back.
It was a delightful experience. I don't have enough words for how much I loved it, and I had been out of the kitchen for a spell when you asked me to do that, and I was definitely intimidated, and I was nervous.
I know you were. I know. I remember we sat at the bar at Nick's on Broadway, and I was like, I really want to do this. I miss you. We haven't done this. We haven't done anything together in a while. Remember, it was like, it wasn't. We weren't having lunch. I think we were having breakfast, but like at 10 o'clock.
We were having bourbon.
But that was and you said, well, if we're going to do this, we're going to do this. We
were having a very early glass.
Shall we get a bourbon? And I was like, all right, fine, I'll get a bourbon with you, of course. But yeah, I think it was like 10:30. It was the typical Nick's on Broadway. You arrive, and because who we are, we're friends with Derek and X and all of them. What should have been, a couple of courses and done in 45 minutes was try this because they're so wonderful and loving, and they want you to try things. And so like an hour and a half later, it was like, oh yeah, let's have a bourbon. Sure, it's time. And I think it was. And
then you convinced me to do the dinner.
Yes.
Which really just would be you asking. I would say yes to anything you did.
You did it. I will say, when I asked, you said yes. And then as we started to talk about it, you were like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this.
I know.
Of course you can do this. I've had your food. I know you can do this. It wasn't.
Well, you made a good call because it was such a beautiful, beautiful experience, and it was amazing. The people there were amazing. All the chefs were amazing. The servers were so excited.
Yeah, everyone gets excited by it. It is wonderful to see. The
Yeah.
guests are excited by it. So yeah, we will definitely do it again. Don't have no.
Oh, of course we will. Of course we will.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so wonderful, so much fun. And yeah, if anyone out there wants to see the pictures, if you're on the Facebook already, just go over to the Facebook page and go to the photo albums and last year's festival pictures. They're all there. And they are a hoot. Even if I'll say that even though I took them, it's still. I love taking the pictures. It was so much fun.
They're good. You caught so much of the energy of everything that night. It was a beautiful, beautiful night. I can't wait until we get to do it again. It's going to be even better because we're all waiting so long for it.
Exactly.
It's going to be a real celebration. It's going to be great.
Yeah. No, I mean, as soon as I put the tickets on sale for this year, we sadly had to pull it, but 10 people from last year immediately bought. I mean, people wanted to come back and see what you were all going to do again. So, yeah, we'll do that again. So I wanted to talk about that event because I love it so much.
I love it too. You should love it. You should be really proud of it.
Thank you. I am. Believe me, I am most proud of that event. Of all the things I do, I am very proud of that event. But speaking of love, the troop slogan is love. Come on.
Rules in the Valley.
Love rules in the Valley. Yes, I wanted to give you the chance to say the line. Love rules in the Valley.
Yeah.
And
I love that hashtag.
It's wonderful. And we have so many friends around there. I say we because, like I said, my office is next door there. I'm in the Sprout office, who are great lovers of Troop as well. And
I know. I love them.
Augusta Street Kitchen and Easy Entertaining are right by both places. Riff Raff, which I love going into Riff Raff.
We are in literally the best neighborhood probably on the planet. Yeah. I can't imagine being around cooler, more awesome, more badass people, just killing it every day. And, watching the way this thing has boiled down, there's a lot of terrible. And nobody needs me to remind them of what's terrible about all of this. But there have been little gifts of beauty everywhere I turn around. And I'm so proud of our neighborhood. I'm so proud of everyone. The Wilbury right away, that just seems like a lot of moving pieces to figure something like this out. And the Wilbury, it felt like within seconds was like, bam, virtual shows. Let's do this thing. And I can't imagine how many sleepless nights, Josh and the crew had to have to just be like, let's figure this out right now. And I'm so proud of them for getting it up and getting it running, because it's not like, that this is an organization with huge funding and all of these resources. That means this is an organization with so much love and so much energy, and they've been doing consistently a beautiful job. And then, right down the street, have you been watching the Waterfire Beacon of Hope thing?
I've looked at it a few times. It is beautiful. I've been very, very, I kind of watched that building go up, and Barnaby took me through it when they first bought it.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful building. They did an amazing job with it. I'm so very happy for them to be there, and it's a great hall for a lot of big events. I'm really, really happy for them to be there. And
I think they've done a really just gorgeous job. The Beacon of Hope, I have a real soft spot for that because, it reminds us in a very insanely honest way that we're losing things.
Yeah.
We can't watch it without understanding that we're losing things.
Oh yeah, no, it's very
and
true.
they're so respectful about saying these are our losses, and we're going to bring them to you every night, and we're gonna put this candle on the ground, and we're all going to think about it for a minute. And they've been so respectful in such a beautiful way, so that we can watch that and reflect and be quiet, but it's cushioned by all of the beauty that they bring into it and all of the hope that they bring into it. Yeah. And they've got these stars that, People are sponsoring stars, and it's every element of it is so beautiful. And now they're doing the stay-at-home water fire. And I have become totally obsessed with watching everybody else's stay-at-home water fires because they're making these amazing videos. Right. And it's another beautiful way to bring the community together. Make this video, post it on the interwebs, share it with your friends. And it feels like we're all kind of doing it together. And everyone's being so smart because there's so much soul in this neighborhood. So with all of this passion, we can't not bring ourselves together. And it's almost impossible for any one of these businesses to do something that isn't going to compel other people. And it's made me so proud to be a part of this community. Riff Raff is doing if you go to the Riff Raff website and you tell them the kind of books that you like, they'll send you a care package.
Yeah.
Mine is coming.
Yeah.
All you have to do is tell them what you like. And I don't know how many of you have gone to Riff Raff, but they're the best at buying books.
It's a great spot.
I would walk in there, close my eyes, grab a book, and go home and read it. And I guarantee it would be the best book.
The book, yes, obviously it's a bookstore, but the bar, Stacy, who a friend of ours that we know that works at Sprout she works at Sprout. I use Sprout as an office. Right when Riff Raff opened, she's a major book nut. So she used to work at Barrington Books, and she does reading across America and things of that nature. So right when they opened, and it was a bar, we went for a drink, and so she could shop. And this was if not the opening day, then right around the opening day. And they had a Gibson on the menu, and I hadn't had a Gibson in a while with the pickled onion. I always get an olive in my martini, but they had the pickled onions. And I said, I want that. And it was perfect. So I would always get, every time I would go in, Tom or Emma, do you want the Gibson? About a year into it, they took the Gibson off the menu because they changed their menu up. But even then, I came in that day after they take it off the menu. I looked at the menu. I said, the Gibson's off the menu. I'll get something else. And they're like, you want it? We've got the pickled onions if you want it. And I was like, yeah, sure. So that's what I get now when I go to Riff Raff. They just like, you want the Gibson? They're the best. I was like, yeah, that's my drink at Riff Raff. And even though it's not on the menu anymore, it's just so sweet. It's just so nice of them to do that. And for all I know, because you look at the rest of the menu now, because I've looked at it a few times, because me in my mind and try to think, restaurants and menus. I don't really see anything else on the menu with the pickled onion. For all I know, they're just buying a jar. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say that. But not just myself. I'm sure there are other people. I decided
that's exactly what's happening.
But it's very sweet. Yeah, because, you could stick that in the fridge in the last 50 years. So it's not like
they're so sweet. They are so sweet, though. But they're a quintessential, neighborhood business.
Right.
They love their people.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And that little neighborhood in the courtyard, I don't want to seem self-serving, but that courtyard neighborhood is so cool. Number one, coolest people I've ever met in my life. And, you have Riff Raff over there, and then LO Pretty, who has been sending the most beautiful messages to their clients to like be safe and be careful, and we miss you. And they're just I love them so much. And then I watched Hungry Ghost put a jigsaw puzzle together last week. And so everyone's being so engaged.
Yeah.
And of course, Troop is amazing. And Troop's been doing amazing things with virtual lessons. We taught people how to make risotto. We taught people how to make the street noodles. We have so much more coming up. The touchless takeout has been awesome. And one of the things I'm the most proud of is we still maintained, everybody's super excited, and also it drives them a little bit crazy that we keep changing the menu constantly. It's just never the same. And everybody loves it as much as it drives them crazy because they fall in love with a dish,
right? And
then it's gone. And I'm always just like, no, there's a whole new love of your life on this menu. It's going to be okay. And our kitchen has, and we have two people right now working in the kitchen. We have JT and Chad.
Yep.
And those dudes are killing it, and they haven't lost any of their excitement or their passion or their creativity because the menu keeps changing. And they did a fried chicken thing.
Yeah, that looked good.
We sold out within 2 hours. And so it's just been amazing to watch Olive out. You're in this community of businesses together, and then eventually it just becomes you're hanging out with your friends all the time in the same neighborhood. And all our friends are just killing it. And they're providing so much inspiration and hope and excitement and a break and like, ugh, this is the worst thing ever.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Even music, like Providence Music. Providence is never not going to have live music shows, right? Ever. And it took about 4 seconds for everyone to start like organizing shows and curating shows
Right.
and promoting shows so that everybody, and I dig the shit out of it.
Well,
like I will pour myself a beer and log on to your online show and I'll watch that all night. And I watch who's signing in, and it does like, it's just enough, you know, it's just enough for that night to be like, I'm with my friends right now. And I do want to like plug a little bit that PVD Live has been.
Well, I was just about to say it's not the Valley neighborhood, but you took me to the Goodwill Engine Company a few months ago. To check it out to use as
you know I love them so much over there.
I walked into that place and I fell in love with it. Remember, so we were looking at it for the women's piece, which you need a full kitchen for, and so I walked in.
We tried so hard during that walk.
And you were like, I don't think this is going to work. They don't have a kitchen, but I said I'd show it to you, and of course, I walk in and I go, oh, we're gonna do it here. We're gonna do it here.
You're like, we should have a place over here.
I was like, we're gonna do this over here. We're gonna do that over there.
Bonfire and have a barbecue.
And I was like, and then you took me in the kitchen. I was like, no, this won't work. But I want to do it here. I want to do it here. It's such a gorgeous spot. Chrissy, obviously, connected to Troop.
But Chrissy really transcends neighborhoods. You know, Chrissy and PVD Live are not the east side or the west side. She is maybe the most. I don't know anyone who should be doing their job more than Chrissy should be doing her job. When she curates the show, I always feel like if I go to a show that she has organized, as soon as I walk in, I get like that little like butterflies in my stomach because it's going to be great. And she has a deep understanding of how to set the space up and how everything needs to represent everything that's happening. And she's a genius at that. And she has people around her helping her. Like obviously Kyla is not a terrible partner to have when you're setting a space.
No.
But PVD Live hopped into action immediately and started arranging shows, but not just to bring it to us, but to support the artists too. And so it's free to go to a show, but there's an option to make a donation. And if somebody makes a donation to PVD Live, 100% of the money goes just to the artist. So Chrissy's spending all of this time organizing, and it's not as easy to book a show right now with like 15 different artists. And it's this crazy little variety show where there are poets and dancers and musicians. And it's great. It's engaging through and through. And she does all of it to support her community, number one, and support her artists. And she did it flawlessly. And like, that's our community. This is Providence. This is where we live.
Right. So it's
the best city in the world.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but I already told you I wanted you to perform something for us. Since we're talking about these shows, will you do get your guitar and do a number for us?
Yes. All right, we're gonna do it.
You're gonna do it. I'm gonna just sit here and listen.
We're just gonna sit there and listen. All right, let me set myself up. Okay. So I have to be honest. I've been a musician for a really, really long time, and I've never gotten to a point where it doesn't scare the shit out of me.
I mean, that's good. Little fear is good. A little bit of, it keeps you energized. Adrenaline.
Yeah, you think so?
I don't know.
No, I think you're right. You know, everybody needs to do scary stuff, I guess. Okay. I'm gonna try to not muck this up, but I thought of this song for a couple reasons. When Susan was on the other day, it made me think of it. Susan and I have a lot of really similar song obsessions, and this is one that we share. And then also, I've been watching the Beacon of Hope, the Waterfire thing every night with Angelo. It's become sort of a routine for us. And this song plays there often. And so I thought it would be a really good idea to play it tonight. And I'm going to try not to hack it. That's my spiel. That's my introduction. I heard there was a secret chord David played and it pleased the Lord. You don't really care for music, do ya? Goes like this: fourth, the fifth, minor fall, and the major lift, the baffled king, posing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Faithless John put me to truth. Stargazing on the roof, beauty and the moonlight over. Really, tied you to her kitchen chair, broke your throne, cut your hair, from your lips she drew. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Here I've been here before in this room, and I've walked this floor. I used to live alone, for I knew ya. Seen your flag on the marble art, but love is not a victory march. It's a cold and a broken hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Was a time that you let me know what's really going on below, but now you never show that to me, do you? I remember when I moved and you, Holy Ghost was moving too, and every breath we drew was hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Maybe there's a God above, but all I've ever learned from love was how to shoot at someone who outdrew you. Gotta cry, hear it out tonight. It's not someone who's seen the light. It's a cold and broken hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. That's it.
I think bowing and say thank you is more important than applause right now. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you very much for that. That was really beautiful. Thank you. You
Well,
know,
thank you for keeping us all connected so much. So much.
that's what I want to do. I want to make sure everyone's always being connected. We're all connected. That's the way it is. We talked about Waterfire. We talked about the beautiful Beacon of Hope they're doing. You also mentioned the Friday night Waterfire at home. And
yeah.
So before we went on, we discussed.
I almost forgot we were going to do this.
Okay, excited. So I'm gonna light my candles. You light your candles.
All right. David and I are going to do our own stay-home water fire. So the whole thing, guys, is the whole thing about water fire is just fire and water. And, your soul, basically. And so, wait, I'm going to do my fire. So you incorporate an element of fire.
Right. You're supposed to incorporate an element of fire, an element of water, and an element of liquor, I guess. is that ours, or is that you're supposed to give a toast?
I got myself a shot of water because I thought it would be really appropriate. Right. And
I'm using
bypassed it and used ice.
I'm using a cube of my bourbon. So that's my water.
Oh.
And I've got candles on and silver. You're supposed to have because it's the silver anniversary of Waterfires.
It is the silver anniversary.
So I put a jacket on with a little silver in it. And I've got silver candlesticks. You can't quite see the candlesticks, but those are actually my mother's silver candlesticks she gave to us when they moved down to Florida.
Wow, you're really showing me up here at the Deacon.
It's Waterfires, 25 years. I mean.
All right, we're going to cheers to Waterfire, to 25 years at Waterfire, and we are going to cheers to our community and to Providence, which is the finest city on the planet.
Yes.
And to all our families out there.
Cheers, Andrea. Thank you.
Good.
And now
I love you, David.
I love you too, Andrea. Thank you. Before we wrap up, I've got my questionnaire that I've been doing, and I've been doing this with everyone. It's a French questionnaire translated through Inside the Action Studios, and now I've adapted.
I feel like I'm on Oprah.
It's the old Inside the Action Studio. I don't know if you ever watched that, but I adapted it a little. So here you go. You ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
What is your favorite word?
My favorite word, I think I've been trained to feel this way, so it's 2 words, is cellar door.
Nice. What is your least favorite word?
I have kind of a love affair with words. I don't think I have a least favorite word. I like them all.
All right. Okay. This is a big one for you. What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally? We've already gone over an hour, so
energy, community, passion. Wonderful. Just fucking mean it. That really turns me on. Mean what you do, or fuck off.
But that's a beautiful slogan. I like that.
I'll make some t-shirts.
What turns you off?
Apathy, laziness, ignorance, misogyny, racism, yellow. It's such a lazy color.
All these terrible, horrible things that I agree with you completely, and then yellow. Okay.
Fuck yellow.
All right, fuck yellow. And here we go. What is your favorite curse word?
I am enthusiastic about all of them, but I really love fuck. I feel like it adds so much to everything. Fuck.
That's 3 in a row now. Derek, Susan, and you, all with the favorite curse word.
It's the best one.
It is.
Motherfucker is nice.
I was going to say, I kind of like for an exclamation, the MFer.
Motherfucker.
But yeah. What sound or noise do you love?
I like the sound, when you listen to a recording, like a professional recording, and you can hear when the guitar player is moving his fingers and you can hear the squeak of the strings.
Yeah.
I really love that sound.
Yeah, moving across the frets, that's cool.
Yeah.
What sound or noise do you hate?
What sound or noise I hate depends largely on the time of day it is and the space I'm in. I'm a little bit of a silence junkie, which probably would come as a surprise to some people. But, when I wake up, I don't like any sounds at all. I like everything to be very quiet. I want to contemplate. So I don't know if there's a single sound that I hate as much as I feel assaulted often by sounds. Everywhere I go, someone's making noise. Like, God forbid we have a second to think. So sounds generally annoys me unless I'm in the mood for it. I'm a fickle bitch, you know?
I think that sums it up right there. All right. What is your favorite ingredient?
Oh my gosh. I have to pick one favorite ingredient.
That's the question. I mean, you don't have to, but you know.
Tarragon.
Ooh, nice one. What's your least favorite ingredient?
All right, I'm going to tell you, but I'm going to catch some shit for this. Bacon.
What did you just say?
Bacon. Bacon is my least favorite ingredient. That's
what you said. Are you out of your mind? Wow.
I love bacon. I like to eat a slab of bacon, but I feel like when people put it in shit, everything just tastes like bacon. It's
I can see where you're going with that a little bit. I can you know, I get that. I mean, not everything, but I get where you're going. So, what profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Porn star. No, I'm just kidding. Not that. Nobody wants that.
You know, did I mention my parents watch this?
Sorry, Mom, Papa, Deacon. What? I would, if I could do anything other than what I'm doing now, I would be an evangelical. Yeah, I would go from town to town and I would put up tents and I would save the souls of everyone in that town and I would take all their money and then I would go to the next town and it would be great.
All right. I'll keep that in mind when I want to start up a religion. What profession would you not like to do?
Let's start a cult. Oh, wait, what?
What profession would you not
I've changed my mind. I want to be a cult leader.
Okay, cult leader, yeah. Same thing.
All right, what do I not want to be?
Yeah, never in your life.
I don't want to be a teacher. You guys are killing it. I'm so proud of you. It looks like the hardest thing really on the planet. And the pressure of being like, the only pressure more than being a bad teacher is being a bad parent.
Yeah.
Like, you really don't have that much of an error margin there. And I would have a nervous breakdown every day.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Brenda works 16, 17 hours a day right now.
Yeah. God bless her heart. She's a saint, though.
She is. I mean, she also puts up with me, so.
I love her so much. Hi, Brenda. I love you so much.
Oh, she's watching. She's watching. My final question for you, Andrea, is if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
It would be cool if he just was like, you did good, kid. I'd be okay with that. Cheers.
You did good, kid.
I did my best. This was so fun. Thank you a lot.
I loved it. This was an absolute blast. I knew it would be fun, but this is wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone out there, for watching. There will be a lot more episodes coming. I really appreciate everyone watching, and the comments are so sweet and so wonderful. So Andrea and I will go back through and read them all. Thank you again, Andrea. It's always wonderful to see you. I love you. I'll see you soon.
Thanks for having me. Bye, guys.